What up, ladies and gents? It is Friday.
Right,
We're ready to rock and roll. Let's do this.
Rock it, roll.
Shut up and sit down.
The Business Bros Podcast was created for you. Learn from the business professionals who come to share their stories. Find out what's working in business, on social media, what's hot and what's not, straight from the mouths of successful entrepreneurs out there doing the real work. And now, welcome to another episode of
Business
Bros. All right. Well, let's hope I don't have any technical issues. How am I looking today? I'm looking all
You're
right.
looking all right. Yeah, you're doing all right.
All right. Yeah, dude. I hope
What's up with you these days, man?
I don't know, dude. All of a sudden, like yesterday, it just started happening, and I'm like, "What the heck?" I had to my router restarted and everything. I was like, "What?"
I know. I had to jump in and like start talking to the guests. Like, what? What is this?
You done saved my life yesterday. I
done saved your life a little bit. Yeah,
I was happy. I was happy. All right, man.
It's a good thing I was on that day. You know, some days I'd be like, "Deuce,
peace, later. I'm out."
Yep. I'm like. I mean, you know, for what it's worth, a lot of times, like, I sit back in the producer chair, shall we say, and, like, I got whatever other stuff going on, so I'm, like, half listening and just kind of waiting. Okay, that's a good spot for a clip. Let me throw that in there. Let me make sure I get the title of what they're talking about, you know, type that in there. But, yeah, so yesterday was definitely interesting to, like, actually jump in.
You were a business bro on the show, dude.
I was a business bro. I can do it. I got you. I got this.
Hey, dude, we're going to talk about the homeless problem here in San Diego. I think that's what was on the news today, especially the homeless station along the side of the right there on 16th Street, National City. But before we get into that, I've been thinking about doing, and I told you about it, I've been thinking about doing a secondary show, and it's going to be something like 5 minutes, just like little straight points, kind of like what I was doing on Instagram. And I thought of a name. And kind of a concept. And so I'm gonna throw it here. Tell me what you think. So I think I'm gonna call it Roar. Like roar. Yeah, roar, like, you know what I'm talking about. Oops, that's not what it was supposed to
like
be.
Like lion
That's
face?
what I'm talking about. It was supposed to be lion roar that's supposed to be on that spot. But okay, that works too.
I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. So anyways.
Do you have your Dropbox going again? Is that what's happening?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe is it? No, it's not. It's
No?
straight paused.
All right.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyways,
dang interwebs.
the internet, dude. I don't know what to say. You know what? I'm gonna have to step up the internet game. Probably hit up Cox and be like, "Yo, boost me up on that upload speed because I need that for my show." Anyways, so I'm gonna call.
And silence.
What if I hit the unmute button right
there?
there?
It is. I can hear you now.
Hit the unmute button. So I'm thinking of calling it Roar.
Roar
Roar like a lion, right? And I thought Roar is kind of a cool thing. And the tribe or the people that I want to be able to come in, they're all going to be part of that pride, right? I was thinking about it because you know, being a Leo, having a lot of pride kind of runs hand in hand, right? We as entrepreneurs tend to have a lot of pride in what we try to do things at the best, highest of our ability. And so it's kind of it's going to be a very much like a mindset type thing, just little quick snippets to kind of like get us to keep going based on things that are trending in society, my own opinion on some stuff. And of course that plays into, you know, our lion and lionesses, the entrepreneurs out there, and the going out and making things happen for each other. So I don't know. What do you think? Like name, kind of concept? Maybe.
I'm not sold.
All right. Help me.
I mean, okay, so it's a mindset type of show, and your target audience is people that are trying to improve their mindset.
I don't know. I guess when you put it that way, no. I don't even have a target audience in mind. I was thinking just straight concept. I should probably start with target audience. Same thing we always start with any marketing thing we do. We should probably start with target audience first and foremost.
Pretty much. I mean, if you have like a specific goal that you want to do with this thing, then yeah. Otherwise, you're just, you know, creating more content for the sake of creating more content, which isn't in and of itself a bad thing.
True. But I think I want to do something a little bit different. Yuri, what's up?
What up, Yuri?
What up, Yuri? It's a long time since I joined. I know we miss you over here in San Diego. Hopefully you stop by and give us a shout out. Speaking of missing San Diego, I mean, that was the topic that I wanted to talk about today anyways. So I saw in the news that this morning, basically the city came in right here on 16th Street in National City and started clearing out the homeless people that had been piling up. I don't know if you've gone down the freeway, down.
I know. Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. Yep.
It's gotten filled up. Encampments of people.
It was definitely a homeless camp right there. Yeah.
It was a huge homeless camp, and it's sad because you see it all over. It's not just like here in National City. It's not here just in San Diego. When we went to LA, same type of thing. We miss you too, Yudi. We missed you too. And the family are doing great, right? Yeah, definitely got the mini me for sure. So I remember cruising down LA, heading towards downtown, and they have huge encampments there too. And part of it is the fact that we live in a beautiful city, dude. I mean, 5% of the time we have beautiful weather here.
Yep.
Right? I mean, if you're going to be homeless anywhere. Yeah, if you're going to be homeless, here's a good place to be homeless at, because I mean,
year round.
Honestly, it doesn't get super cold. You're not going to freeze to death here, right? And it doesn't get super hot, so you're not going to dehydrate. There's some heated spots. In a freeway underpass under some shade, you're good. You don't have it's not a big deal. And so, they started clearing these guys out, and they offer different opportunities for people to have different types of homeless shelters type things. But then eventually today came and they go in and start dumping stuff out. And, the story was talking about how, like, a lot of these people, this is their entire livelihood. It's not that every single one of them is on drugs or on some horrible thing. A lot of, some of them are naturally just in a rut, right? Like, they have no one else. There's no family that they can go couch surfing on. They're just they're working, they're trying to get back on their feet. But by the same token, median house price in San Diego right now is $125,000. The median house price in San Diego, $125,000. I saw a Facebook post.
$125,000?
$800,000.
Okay. I was like, what?
I saw a Facebook post today in Bay Park. Bedroom, 1 and a bath, 2,000 square foot home. And Leslie Parazo was the real estate agent on this one. Congratulations to you, by the way. But $1.3 million. And this
for a 3-bed, 2-bath in Bay Park?
A 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 2,000 square feet. This is one of those weird situations, right? And I don't know if other agents feel this way. I love the fact that you can be able to sell a house like that and make commission, but I start to feel weird about, like, I don't know how I would feel about taking one of my buyers to go buy. And here's the problem is maybe I'm stepping into my own bias here, right? Maybe I'm stepping my own budget, maybe my own outlook on the way things look. But to me, 1.3 million for that house didn't make sense, right? And I see a lot of things that are across the man, I'm cutting in and out. Yudi says that sucks. Dang, that's hard to understand. I'm gonna try something. Cam, let me try this.
In the meantime, I'll just talk about, what I'm thinking as you're saying that is that land is a finite resource, right? There's only so much of it. And when we live in an area like here in San Diego, the more people want to live here and the higher the prices just get. They're just getting higher and higher and higher. I mean, I still think that we're due for a correction. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how or when or what's going to make that happen. It just feels like that's inevitable. But I mean, right now, that's just what it is. I feel you, man. 1.3 million for a 2,000 square foot house. I mean, if it's right on the beach, Like,
and that's the thing is it
maybe.
wasn't right. I mean, it was in a nicer neighborhood, right? I'll give it that. Sure. It was in a good neighborhood. But it was a fixer upper, dude. Like, there's still a lot of work that needs to go in for 1.3, and I don't know. I just feel I personally feel like that's, to me, I feel almost unethical saying, yes, this is your dream home. This is the one that you want to live in at this price. Now, who am I to say what someone's budget and stuff is, right? You know, I completely understand that. From a sales point of view, it's like, look, here is a product or service. You're in this price range. This is what you're looking for. You agreed that you like it. Cool. Let's get this thing done. From a purely sales perspective. But I just know that we're in a weird spot right now, and I think people are gonna really take a big hit, and part of that is part of the situation why we have issues like these, like homeless issues, because people take some of these emotions on things and get pummeled when things change and shift. Dude, check this out. So crypto, right? Crypto has been on this huge boom and then hits this huge downturn, right? Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden it's like, okay, people are thinking, you know, hey, maybe I should invest in this other crypto, or maybe this other one that comes out, I should put money over here, or this is the next big one. Dude, it reminds me of like the .coms, like in 99 and 2000. Like, people are like, all you got to do is create it, and people are going to invest a ton of money in it because they think it's going to be that next best thing, right? And so people are investing all kinds of money thinking that they're experts, but they're not. They're speculators. Same thing with real estate. I saw this in 2005, 2006. You're paying for something because you're speculating. You're assuming that if I build on it, if I make another unit, it's going to be worth way more. Dude, I just, common sense, man. Common sense is not very common right now. And I just know that the market's going to shift and people are going to make huge losses. And I think it's going to be twofold. One is that person who probably wasn't around for that first dip, who didn't quite, you know, they kind of heard about what happened in 2008. They didn't quite experience it. But then the other side is people who did experience it, who are getting in the market, and we're going to see things like strategic foreclosures, right? And so that's a whole other
strategic foreclosures.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Let's say you lived in a home, you bought it for, I don't know, 150, 200,000, right? And here in San Diego, 200,000. Well, the median house price right now is 800,000. So what happens if you go to the bank and you refinance, you pull out 400,000 in cash, and then you stop making the payments? That's a strategic foreclosure, because what happens when you go to the bank and you pull out a loan, that is not taxable income. So let's say, you know, let's do some quick math. I got to bust out the calculator so I don't make any calculation errors, right? 800,000. Let's say the house is worth 800 grand at 70% loan to value. That's 560,000 eligible as a cash out refi. If you owe 100, 200,000, that's $400,000 that you can pull out in a loan. It's not taxable because it's not income. You didn't actually sell the property, right? And then you walk away from the payments, and what's the bank going to do? Well, right now you can put it in forbearance. So first of all, there's 6 months, 9 months to a year where you're not going to have to make a payment. Right. And then when it's time to re-up, well, you know what? I'm just going to walk away, because if I'm going to pay a mortgage, 800, 900, $1 million mortgage, why am I going to pay that off if I can just walk away and then rent something with all the cash in my pocket? That is a strategic foreclosure, right? That's a way for you to get equity out without selling, so you don't pay the capital gains tax, right? And then all of a sudden, here you go, walk away, right?
He says my wheels are spinning right now.
But that's how you, I mean, again, these are rules to the game, right? Like, if you, and who, okay, first of all, ethical, unethical, I don't know. That's going to be your own thing, right? In my opinion, that's a little unethical, but hey, you know what? It's the bank. The bank's like manipulating money anyways, right? $1 deposited turns into $10 for them to lend out. So are you just playing the game that they're playing? Like, that's one side of it. But what about, and that's the ones that actually understand how the market works, right? Who have that financial IQ, or who have that experience to take advantage of the market the way it is. What about the other people, though? The ones who are like speculating and getting into the market because they want to get in before it's too late. Right before the last house goes up, before, you know, maybe I can buy right now at 800, and it's gonna continue going up, because real estate just goes up all the time. It's gonna go to $1 million, and I'm gonna be all right. What happens when they go upside down? What happens when the market shifts and that $800,000 house that they bought is now worth 600? Are they going to feel like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have to pay 800 on that? Maybe, we should probably go rent.
It's what you say, though. You say this all the time. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 800 or 600 unless you're looking to sell. If you're just looking to hold on to it and you're able to make the payments, then who cares what the so-called value is? Just keep making the payments, hold on another 10 years, it'll be back.
But that's financially speaking. Emotionally speaking, when you're underwater like that, when your house is worth, you owe 800, but you can only sell it for 600, you feel trapped. And then if you realize that, at 800,000, my mortgage payment is, $4,000, right? And all of a sudden you're like, but you know what? I can rent that other house over there for 2,500. Right? All of a sudden you're like, hey, dude, like, I don't think I want to pay on this $800,000 house anymore because I can't even sell it to get out from under it. So you know what, bank, here are the keys. You can have it back. I'm going to go rent over here for less and save $1,500 a month. Like, dude, that stuff is going to happen again. Like, it's coming. Yeah. It's coming. I don't know if it's going to be the student loan that is going to bust. I don't know if it's going to be cryptos that tend to bust things. I can buy crypto on Venmo now. Did you see that?
I didn't.
So that's now I can buy crypto on Venmo. That's opening up the floodgates for a lot of different things, right? A lot of different transfers. So I know, and you just say right here, watch when BKs, when bankruptcies go up, and those that know how to play the system start living there for free under their dude bingo, and that ties into the homeless thing, right? This is one of those things that what Yudi's talking about was in 2008. We had a lot of people who went into foreclosure. There were so many foreclosures, the bank couldn't even process them in time. One thing that's different from then to now is back then the banks didn't know what to do. It hit them all at once. They had to develop a lot of the systems to go through the foreclosure process. So what happens is you stop making your mortgage payment. By the time the bank catches up, by the time the bank actually goes through the foreclosure process, forecloses, and then gets the sheriff to boot you out, that could be a year, 2 years time that we were looking at. And then it's people like you. Now you got to go figure out what to do, right? And so there's a lot of that stuff that's going to happen. The thing that's different this time around, if something like that happens, is the banks have a streamlined process for foreclosures, right? So the eviction process, they can
do it again,
right? And the systems are already in place. So the process, I think, is going to be a lot faster. You're going to have less people living in houses for free than you did in the past, but still, that is going to put a shift on the market. That's going to make a major change. And if you have an influx of people who are losing their homes, it's one thing if you're strategically moving out, right, and you have cash. The other one is if you aren't and you lose your home and you take a hit on your credit report because now you have a bankruptcy or a foreclosure in there, and then you're trying to go out and get an apartment or trying to get a rental. You have that bad history. Now you start limiting where you can go. Right. And that's when we have people starting to live out of their cars, and they're good people. They're working people. They just can't get a place. Right. And like this is like you talk about systemic things, right? This is some of those systemic things that start with these decisions, that start with why are you paying for a home and that you can't afford on a monthly basis. Well, maybe you can't afford it on a monthly basis. Maybe you can right now. Right. Maybe it's comfortable right now. But what happens when your job shifts? Or when, in this case, when COVID happens and all of a sudden you are remote and you think you have enough time to do that remote job and your side hustle. And then the job starts saying, well, check it out. June 15th, things are going to open up here in California, and we're going to have you come into the office, 3 days a week, and then 4 days a week, and then 5 days a week. And all of a sudden your side hustle can't handle, and your income is starting to decrease, and that $4,000 a month mortgage payment that you thought you could afford now starts becoming a problem. Like, there's a lot of things that are happening here, and I don't think people quite wrap their head around all of it. I think they're just very impulsive right now, trying to make a quick buck. What do you think?
I mean, I hear you, and I got to agree in a lot of ways. I mean, it's a tough market to deny. It keeps going up. We've been on something of a 12-year bull trend. Like, the market, stock market, real estate market, they just haven't stopped going up. And I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know how long it's going to be. I agree with you. I know that there's going to be a lot of people that it's going to hit, and it's going to, we're going to find a lot of people hitting these same bankruptcy and financial pitfalls in a lot of different ways. Because I mean, it happens over and over and over again. It's a cycle. We know this. It's every 10 years or so that, you know, the market's supposed to correct. So we're definitely overdue. But I don't know. It sounds a little doom and gloom to me. And, you know, there's always people that are going to suffer from, you know, these kinds of cycles. There's always going to be people that bought at the peak, and then next thing they know, that it's down. What's that thing we always say? Nobody ever loses money; it just changes hands, and that's going to happen. It's kind of the natural order of things. And then, you know, I don't know. I think the majority of people will recover, because that's what the majority of people do. It's just, you know, sometimes it can get really tough. And if homelessness is not a byproduct of
these kind of
simply
changes.
The economic cycles, right? Like there's so much more to it than that. I mean, if somebody gets hit by an economic cycle and they have mental health problems and they fall into a depression, and next thing you know, they, you know, get addicted to drugs or drinking or whatever, you know, those are the things that cause homelessness or cause extended homelessness. And then, you know, then we get into the topic of like treating drugs as crimes instead of treating them as mental health issues. You know, if we give treatment instead of punishment, you know, maybe we could do more for those people to help them get themselves out of those ruts.
You know, it's kind of for me the priority, right? Like a lot of those things are great in theory, right? Great concept in theory, right? Well, what is it? I heard the interest rates are to do another drop again, and you know what? I haven't heard, and I've heard rumors of both sides. I've heard rumors of it's going up, and I've heard rumors of
pretty close
to
zero already. No,
yeah, and so we'll come back to the interest rate thing, because I really do want to talk about that. But I wanted to kind of hit the homeless thing. When we start addressing whether it's mental health, whether it's drugs and alcohol, whether it's whatever's related, one has priority, right? Which one do you tackle first? Because there's a limited amount of resource when it comes to government aid. There's a limited amount of resource when it comes to like homeless shelters. There's a limited amount of resource when it comes to a lot of those things. So which one do you tackle first? Right? And
how about increasing the resources?
Again, that's tough, because now it becomes an issue of whose resources, right? Where do we pinch from who loses so that this gets taken care of? And this is where, you know,
people that have a shit ton of money and it doesn't really hurt them that bad.
But again, like to me that's harsh, man. To me that's harsh. Who are you to say why you're going to take, like, why? And this is one of those reasons why people leave California.
I think part of the reason why is because it's sort of like it's beyond irritating. It's disgusting, honestly, to me, that a CEO of XYZ company can make 350 times in 1 year what their employees might make in 10.
Okay,
like that's disgusting. Like that's,
but it's not, because they're
though.
The ones who run. See, to me, this is a fundamental flaw, because you don't know what that's doing with their money. You just don't. You don't know what cause. Maybe they could give a shit less about homeless, but they want to cure cancer, and a lot of their funds are going over there. And because you're taking away
a lot more funds,
maybe not. Maybe they live as carelessly as
the
guy.
My point is we go after the ones that do.
See, and that's to me, that's pitchforks and knives. That's the community saying you're too good. Well, you know what I would do? I would leave. And that would be the simplest thing. If you're going to come at me with pitchforks and knives, then I leave. And that's what happens to a lot of people. Dude, Governor Newsom signed a bill.
You're going to Atlas Shrugged. You're going to the Atlas Shrugged mentality.
Yeah,
but that's not real. That's not real. It's a fictional book.
It's not real in the sense that they go into this fantasy world. But it's real in the sense that those will leave the state of California and house their companies in another state. That is real. Mm-hmm. The companies will leave the United States and house their companies in another country. That is real. That happens all the time. And if you continue to come at them with pitchforks and knives because you have an agenda, because your cause is more important than the cause that they believe in, that's wrong. Now, I believe that's wrong. Do I believe that humans should help other humans? Yes, I do believe. But I believe we're all put on this earth for different things, like to help other people do other things in different ways. Some of us are great at being teachers. Some of us are great at being parents. Some of us are great at being community organizers. Some of us speak for gay pride. Some of us speak for Black Lives Matter. Some of us speak for all kinds of different things. And you can't tell me that your cause is more important than somebody else's. You just can't do it. And if I spend my life building a company that is ultra successful, I can bear the fruit and do what I want with that fruit. I can use it or I can give it away. But you can't tell me what to do. And if you think you can, then I'll leave. It's really quite simple. That Governor Newsom today into law, I think it was like SB 87 or I don't know, all these SB laws that they put in place. But what he's doing is he's trying to expand. He's signing off on things so that Google can expand over there in San Jose, a full-on campus, residential community. Look, Google is creating things that is going to help the entire world. Like it really does help the world, whether it's on your phone, on the internet, innovations, all kinds of different things. Right. And they're right here in California and they tend to want to stay where they are. But there are a lot of companies like Tesla, for example, where they're trying to get stuff squared away and you can't. So what do? They bounce. They leave. They're like, fine, if you're going to stand in my way, if you're going to take my product because you believe your cause is better than mine because I want to put people on right? I want self-sustaining power. And to me, self-sustaining power is much more of a cause than solving the homeless problem here in the United States. Elon Musk, I'm assuming that's what he's saying. Get out of my way. And if you're going to stand in my way, fine, I'm leaving. Right? And that's jobs gone. Innovation gone. Homes gone.
Not gone. Moved. Not gone. Moved.
Okay, gone for the people who are here, because for him to move, it's a lot easier than for here to move, because the average person can't pick up and move their entire family. Can't.
And what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen in the next place that they move? Those same real estate prices that you're talking about right now, where they're 1.35 million for a 2,000 square foot home. It's gonna happen in the next place they go.
Not all the time. Necessarily.
The
great country of Texas is doing.
I understand what you're saying, but try to buy a house in Austin right now. It's not 1.35 million yet, but it's going up. Why? Because there's more there's more stuff going there. There's more business going there. Yeah,
because they're more.
So maybe California just has too much business, and maybe they should be going. There's nothing wrong with that. These jobs don't disappear. These factories don't disappear. They just move. So what if they move to another country? That means another country gets to increase the wealth of their people. That's a good thing.
But it doesn't solve the problem here.
There are large problems and there are no easy answers.
That's for sure.
But I do still think that there are ways that we could regulate more answers, because when it comes right down to it, I don't like. I understand what you're saying. You can't take my money. You can't tell me what to do with it. You know what? Like, you need to pay your people better so that we can increase the economy, so that there's more opportunity for everybody. Like, there's no reason why you need to have $270 billion when your workers, are making $60,000 a year, $100,000 a year. Like, there's
but
no
you do realize that the payments that they're talking about are not always cash payments. It's not like they get a W-2 for $20 million.
I totally understand that. I know what you're saying. But I mean, when I'm talking about, like the Walmart CEO, as an example, who makes $130 million a year, or whatever, 200, what, right?
That's not justified because he's feeding and housing and helping millions have a home and like literally running almost an entire economy. And you're telling me that kind of stress, that kind of pressure doesn't deserve that kind of pay?
I'm not saying that. It's just like I think that there needs to be some kind of a middle ground, because like there's ways that we can find. I don't know what the right answer is, but I know that there is a huge disparity. And yeah, sure, he's they are running huge corporations, and these huge corporations are making bundles upon bundles of cash. I mean, they're
because they're providing so much quality service for so many people. The average person doesn't provide a quality service for anything, for hardly anybody. They do a quality service for themselves. Average person is probably more selfish if you're talking about just what they're doing on a daily basis, because they're only working for themselves and their family. A lot of these organizations, major corporations, are Amazon. There's not a household in America that doesn't benefit from Amazon. Plus all the jobs, all the deliveries, all the work. So yeah, when you provide a quality service to more people, you become of more value. And the individual person just does not. And so you want to take from somebody who's providing a mass amount of value to equally distribute to people who aren't providing as much value. I just don't know how fair that is.
You're using a word that you hate. Why are you using the word fair?
I don't like the word fair.
But you just used it. It's not fair. It's not fair. Because you shouldn't be taking away from them to give to them. That's not fair.
You're right. It's not fair. Because
so what is?
There is no fair. There is, to me, that's not a right thing to do. I think if you have more, you provide more service. You provide more quality. You do more work. If you want to enjoy your weekend and, clock out at a certain time, and that's fine. That's great. But then you're limited to what you're going to be able to earn and the lifestyle that you're going to live.
And I think we can increase that across the board and actually still make more money and still have more resources. Like, I don't think that it's an if-then proposition. I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. I think that the more money gets poured out to people, in the lower income brackets, the more we're able to close that gap between the haves and the have-nots, the more the economy is going to increase anyway.
How well has it worked for you?
Me personally?
Yeah. In a socialistic point of view, when we overpay our people or when we increase our payroll costs, how well has it worked? In theory, it works great. In theory, it works great. In practicality, it doesn't work as well. You don't. This is what I see over and over again. You don't pay your people so that they become ultra wealthy, so that they become super. You pay them just enough, because that keeps them coming back. That keeps them at the productive point. And it doesn't make them too comfortable. It gives them a purpose and a reason to go to work and come back every single day. That works for the business, and that works for the employee. And if the employee wants to do more, then they can do more. But again, most people are just not willing.
And it sounds like, with that kind of an attitude, it's an unwillingness to really address the problems like homelessness. It's all about me. It's all about me and my business. I bring value. I do this. I do that. Fuck you if you're homeless. I don't care. Like, that's what it sounds like.
But it's
your responsibility. You have to fix it.
But that's not what we're saying. But that's not what I'm saying at all.
That's what it sounds like, though. That is what it sounds like. Because what I'm saying is that there are ways to address these things. There are things that we can do as a society, as a government, as a people. There are steps that we can take. But there are enough people that are like, no, don't take my money. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't take, like, got a certain point where you're, you stop being a capitalistic crony and just be a human. But
again, for me, it's like there are plenty of people who are doing that. I think per capita, we don't have a homeless problem compared to other nations. Per capita, there are a lot of people who are dedicating their time, effort, like mom, for example, that go out and make a difference every single day. And forcing them. You're not taking from them. There are people who are contributing and being part of that community and being part of the thing. I think humans are helping other humans. I think people do put a hand out and help out. But I think we get ridiculed if we don't help a specific cause that another person is more important. That's the problem that I have with when you take from somebody to give to somebody else, is you're forcing them into your agenda because you believe that one cause is more valuable than the other. When that's just not
the human cause is more important than the rest. And there's a lot of problems that need to be addressed. The homelessness is just one, right?
Yeah,
That's just one.
Sure. For sure.
But, like I keep saying, there are enough resources out there if we want to use them, if we don't allow people to just hoard them.
I guess that makes me
Today I lost more than you can know.
I'm the Thanos of the world, I guess, right? Or the corporations are the Thanos of the world. And if we don't do that, then
we're not worthy. We're not worthy. I guess. I don't know. I think the corporations are not the Thanos of the world. I think Thanos would he'd kill half of everything. So all these corporations would be, everything would be slashed in half, and all the resources would all of a sudden be there.
All of a sudden, because the world, that's what it needs. A snap and that's it. That'll solve all our problems. Dude, by the way, I'm having fun on our Get Heated discussions.
These are good. These are fun. Yeah.
These are fun, right? We hit some topics, and like I said, ladies and gents, we don't always agree. We love each other. We're bros, right? We don't always agree. And we actually, most of the time,
especially the past several years. I mean, growing up, we had our fights and everything, but now politically, we're definitely politically, philosophically, we're on opposite ends of the spectrum a lot, but we can still talk. We still love each other.
You joined the herd, Ham. I'm still against the herd.
I don't know. I think you're just on another herd.
I think so too. I think we're just herding in the wrong directions.
we're herding in opposite directions.
You heard?
You're a moo, I'm a ba.
There you go, dude. There you go. All right, ladies and gents, went long on this one, but we had fun. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out, y'all. Oh, I almost hit the end instead of the the last thing. It's not like we've been doing this for 734 episodes,
right?
Thank you for listening to the Business Bros Podcast. Are you looking to get more clients or to increase your income? Hernan, the business bro, can help you generate referrals through the power of podcasting. And James, the insurance bro with Pipeline Insurance, can help you effectively add insurance to your existing business. If you are ready to create wealth today and generational wealth for tomorrow, email businessbros@csfirst.com to schedule a free consultation, or join the Business Bros Network, www.businessbros.biz.